Legislative District, Mr. Jimmy Tarlau.
So this is very surreal for me. And who the hell are they talking about? You know, I'm an organizer. They must be talking about somebody else. It's very hard to know that they're talking about me, and I really appreciate it. You know, I love Mount Rainier. I love the 47th district now. I love Brentwood. I see my friends from Brentwood. I love my friends from Labor, and you know, it's a new world for me. And I have some comments I'd like to make and some a little speech. And I wrote this out because my campaign manager Danielle Douglas told me you have to write out your speech because you don't say too many ums and ahs. So I said I'd write out my speech. So 2 months ago, I had one of those fork of the road moments that one has in one's life. You know, when Jolene Ivey decided to run for lieutenant governor and Joel Neiman decided to run for county council, I had to make a decision. I could choose to vote for one of a group of people who were not bad people, but not with a level of commitment to the progressive values that I feel are important to the changing the direction of this country. I could sit back and vote for one of the candidates and support one of the candidates and make them do what was right, or instead I could step up and be the person I would like to vote for. Furthermore, as Mayor Miles has pointed out, for the first time in over a dozen years, there will be no one from the Gateway Arts District, which is Mount Rainier, Brentwood, and North Brentwood, who will be part of our delegation to Annapolis. Sure, we could tell people what the needs of our community were, but there would be no one who would make this their top priority. I had a choice to make. I could either sit back or step up to the challenge. My daughter is a young activist. She's trying to change the world. I was once trying to change the world myself. Too often I've heard myself telling her that politicians never do anything. I tell her it is just too hard to change things. I didn't want to say it, but I was getting into a rhythm, myself saying it more and more. And I could actually see a look of disappointment on her face. Here was her father with a lifetime of commitment, and some people go back with me 40 years, with a lifetime of commitment to social change, saying, it's just too hard. Politicians are all the same. But how can I really inspire to stay involved and try and change the world if I had given up? So I decided I'd either stand up or give up.
There it is.
I was not, and I am not ready to give up. That is why I'm proud to announce my candidacy for Maryland State Delegate. But this is about content too, and that's very important. I have to be the candidate and the elected official you and I have always wanted to vote for. I bring to this race a lifetime of commitment to progressive values, as well as the ability to get things done, which are shown in my 6 years on Mount Rainier City Council and by many years as a labor negotiator. I hope to bring the same service and dedication to the residents of the 47th district that I have shown as a councilman in Ward 1 to my constituents and to my neighbors and to my members in my union. I also bring a larger vision to this campaign. I'm developing my program and do not have full-scale positions on every issue, but let me go over a few key parts of my program for action. Because I don't believe in people just talking blah, blah, generality. I think you need a program to change. I believe that the Republican obstruction in Congress, we cannot really look to Washington to change problems. But with a Democratic governor and a Democratic legislature, we should be able to do more to solve problems coming from Annapolis.
Amen. Yes, absolutely.
And I mean by that by bringing more resources to our community. You're not going to hear me to talk about better schools, better roads, and more services without talking about how that is going to be done, and that means more revenue. We cannot solve our problems in this town, in this district, and in the state without more resources, and we cannot do this without addressing revenue. And we can't talk about revenue without talking about corporate loopholes and a more progressive income tax. There's just no two ways about it. I don't think you'll hear a lot of other candidates talking about taxes and corporate loopholes. They'll talk about schools and roads. But we really can't solve our problems unless we talk about resources and money.
Yes.
For example, implementing what is called combined reporting would be a tax local. It's a tax local which companies that do business in Maryland but have their headquarters in Delaware don't pay any taxes on the revenue made in Maryland. Wells Fargo, General Electric, Comcast, Verizon pay no taxes in Maryland.
That's right.
People don't know that. They don't pay any taxes in Maryland.
That's right.
Stopping the loophole of combined reporting would save us over $500 million. Some of that money could be used to help build our Civic Center in Rainier and Prince George's African American Museum in North Brentwood. Right. But we can't talk about these things unless we talk about revenue.
That's right.
The rich in our country and our state have become the super rich. They can pay more and they are not going to leave Maryland. That's just a myth. A new, more progressive income tax schedule will generate over $100 million in additional tax revenue. That could be used for the dredging project, the Anacostia, which would limit the trash that comes upstream and is deposited on the shores in Bladensburg. These things don't happen in Annapolis because corporate interests hire dozens and dozens of lobbyists to stop any progressive tax legislation from being passed. Legislators who do not go to Annapolis with deep progressive roots have their heads turned around by the lobbying firms. I've seen it happen. If you don't have deep progressive roots, you go there, you believe one special interest, you believe another special interest, you get wine and dine, and suddenly you do nothing. I don't have to make a pledge about not taking corporate PAC money. I won't be getting any. I will bring to Annapolis a populist agenda rooted in 35 years of my advocacy for working families. I also bring a unique perspective of bridging the environmental and labor communities. We are strong environmentalists in our community and are proud of our green infrastructure plan and all our programs to help save our world from environmental destruction, person by person, neighborhood by neighborhood. I will be a strong advocate of environmental programs. But too often, new regulations are opposed by labor groups and seen as a burden by poor and working people. We have to build a blue-green alliance in which the cost of critical environmental regulations are paid by corporations and those who most afford it and cannot be seen as costing jobs. We need retraining, severance payments, and job placement for any workers who might lose their jobs as a result of new regulation. We just can't pose environmental versus labor. It just won't work. I believe this is critical, and I will work to build that alliance in Annapolis. Another goal I have is the better coordination of services. I think our elected officials do not do a very good job at this. When there's a person in need because of physical catastrophe, fire or flood, economic circumstances, inability to pay his bills, or person in need because of spousal abuse or physical or mental illness, people do not know where to go, who to talk to. We have lots of elected officials, but there's no one state place or number that people know about that they can call for help. We have to improve our coordination services and also let people know about them. And last, I will continue to do what I have been most proud of as city councilman, to explain to my constituents what is going on in Annapolis in layman's terms, to bring transparency to government so people can understand and lobby for what they believe is important. That is why I'm running, and that is what I hope to do, and that is why I need your support. I have a good chance of winning this race, but I'll need your help. This is a big district. Not just Mount Rainier, not just Brentwood, it's just not North Brentwood, it's not Bladensburg. It goes all the way to Cheverly, to Columbia Park, to Chillum, and it was a Monty. See that? Our representative from Avondale is on a district. So I need to get the word out to people. I need help to go door knocking in different neighborhoods. I need help with money to put out mailings. I need a lot of help. But I think if you guys help me, I'll be the candidate you always wish you could vote for, and you always wish you had as an elected official. Thank you.
Is that the candidate you want to vote for? Isn't that